Hey guys, what's up? It's iDestiny. Welcome back. This week, well actually, this video was supposed to come out last week on 4th of July, but 4th of July happened, which meant that we had a huge heat wave, which meant that we had a power outage. So my power was out for a little bit, and it was so hot in this apartment, like I couldn't even breathe, let alone film. But anyways, I went and had my DNA test results done by MyHeritage. So this is, I don't know, it's very similar to Ancestry and 23andMe and all that kind of stuff. They were having some sort of sale. It was like $59 and then shipping was $12. So me and Mike actually got ours done. I bought 3 in total by accident, but whatever. Anyways, I've been very interested in knowing what my DNA results are just because my family and specifically what I am, my mixedness or whatever, it just always seemed very complex, and I felt like the older I got, the more we found out like random things about our family and our history and all that kind of stuff. So let me just give you a quick background. My dad, I was born here in LA, raised here in LA. My dad was born here in LA, raised in LA. He was born in Watts. My grandma, I think, moved here, his mom, I think moved here from Texas at some point in time, who knows. But yeah, you know, my family line has been in America for, you know, quite some time, possibly since the beginning of slavery. So I already kind of knew that end. From my dad's side, we thought maybe there might be some Native American in there, but we weren't really sure. Now, let's jump over to my mom's side. My mom, growing up, she was the lightest Dominican, if the only Dominican I ever knew. Most of y'all are on the East Coast. What up, Dominicans? So growing up, it was just like, okay, I have this Hispanic mom, you know, she's Dominican, whatever, and we know that that means that she's probably a sprinkle of black, and I really do say a sprinkle because, again, my mom is one of the lightest Dominicans I've ever seen in my life, and we know that that means that there's some Spaniard in there, which is possibly like Castilian. That being said, you know, also with Dominicans, there could be some other kind of mixtures in there, which I didn't really find out until later on in life. I think, what was it? Possibly like a few years after high school, my mom ended up, I think, going on Ancestry or something and getting in touch with a bunch of our family on the East Coast that they hadn't seen in a really long time. My mom was not born here. She literally was sworn in as a citizen when she was pregnant with me. So that's real right there. She connected with her family on the East Coast, and we ended up finding out that we had, you know, Sephardic Jewish roots and all that kind of stuff, and that our great grandfather was from was like a Spaniard Jew or something, which is really interesting because I went to Bible college and took Hebrew, and my mom, like around the time when I was in high school, she started kind of like going to the Jewish synagogues and like learning Hebrew and kind of doing a lot of the different Jewish ceremonies and stuff like that. So I don't know, it was really weird that she had kind of started doing that, and then kind of in the next few years we would find out that we were Jewish and, you know, whatever else. So my mom kind of went on this journey. She went to go visit family out there, flew out there, looked at like our whole family lineage of, you know, books, family photos, family trees, started asking, you know, her aunts and older family members different stories about our family. And somewhere in there we found out that one of my mom's great grandmas or great grandmas was Lebanese. And so from there it just kind of became this very interesting thing of like, okay, I'm finding out more and more interesting things about our family. So I was really interested to do one of these and actually find out specifically what I am and get more of a distinct narrative of where my family comes from. So let me pull up my results for you. I still have plastic on my phone. I got a new phone this weekend. Hey, turn up, new Samsung. All right, so I actually took a photo of it and added it to my phone so I could see. So based on MyHeritage DNA, and some of these are kind of broad, they kind of give you some larger regions, and somebody in your family is from that region or carries a DNA from that region, something like that. So I am 54% West African. So I don't know, nothing really new there. I mean, it's like my dad is black and then my mom is Dominican, and Dominicans have black in there. So that makes sense. That being broken down is Nigerian and Sierra Leonean, which I was like, that's kind of cool. East African, Kenyan, 9%, and Central African. So pretty much a lot of these African groups that they've mentioned are ones that, you know, were sold into slavery and that sort of thing, way back in the beginning of America's history. And then we get to the category that's European. Okay, so, fun fact for you. For the longest time, whenever I took, like, you know those standardized tests you take in school and you have to, like, mark down your ethnicity and all that, I always had the hardest time because it would always say, you know, white Hispanic and non-white Hispanic. And I'm like, what do you mean Hispanics were people of color, we're tan, we're brown? I mean, my mom's very fair, but still. But I ended up finding out that apparently, you know, if you're Spaniard, you're considered white, which is so weird to me. So yeah, I was like, okay, European, white, you know, Spaniard, white, okay, I'm kind of getting that there. But then it says Iberian. So I had to look that up. And Iberian is, I guess, what they used to call that region if you're kind of like in that Spaniard, you know, Spain and Portugal general area. The people that lived there way back when, they were considered Iberians, I guess. So that would make sense. You know, on my mom's side of the family, there's Castilian, you know, Spaniard. So, okay, I'm Iberian. But then it says I'm Scandinavian and Finnish. Okay, so I'm guessing whatever plantation my family was on was owned by somebody who was Scandinavian and Finnish, and something got mixed all up in there. So there's that. There's 7% of that, 7.7% of Scandinavian Finnish, which means that it's really not that far back in my family, apparently. I read something that said, I guess if you're in the 1 or 2 percentile for a certain thing, then that family member is 5 to 7 generations back or something like that. Don't quote me if I'm wrong. Some of you may know better than me, but I had read an article that said something similar to that. So comment below if you know and kind of explain it to me a little bit. That would help. And then I have Central American, 6.5%. Okay, so that makes sense, I suppose. They literally circled from Mexico all the way down to Argentina, so who knows? And then I'm West Asian. So West Asian is in that Turkey, Iran, kind of Middle East kind of area. So I mean, that makes sense if I'm Lebanese, because that's kind of like the similar region. So I mean, when everything is said and done, the results, they make sense. They kind of aligned with my family lineage and what I've kind of been finding out so far. But it was just really cool to do this. We did Mike's as well, and his was very simple. Him being from the South, his family being in the South for a while, you know, you kind of get where I'm going with that. But yeah, it was just really cool to see the results, especially, you know, me being pregnant right now with my daughter. I really wanted to do this for our family to kind of know our history, you know, where we come from a little bit more. That way when she grows up, you know, we can explain it to her a little bit better, because I felt like when I was younger, it was like there was so many random little pieces coming from here and there, and I didn't really find out a lot until I got older. So very glad that I did this. I'm glad that Mike did this as well, and we got the opportunity. If you guys are interested in learning about your heritage or your background or whatever, you know, just research a couple of companies. But thank you guys so much for watching. I just really wanted to do this. I was hoping to drop it on 4th of July again, but it didn't happen. But thank you so much. So make sure you guys subscribe to my channel, like this video if you want to see more. I'll be posting more as usual. Make sure to do well and be well, and I'll see y'all later. Bye. Yeah.